Hi, my name is Matthew Carter, and those of you who know me, I build custom rods. I also work at Bill Jackson's in the fishing department. I get a lot of people wanting to learn particular knots all the time. One of the toughest knots that people have a tendency to remember is the GT knot or the Sabile knot. There's a bunch of different terms for it. The bottom line is this is literally the strongest line-to-line knot ever created, and until we have like magnets or some kind of super beam or invisible connections, there's never going to be a stronger knot. If there is, please show it to me because I'd love to learn it. Also, this is the smallest possible knot you could ever possibly get at this point that I've ever seen. I've seen a lot of knots, and it tests way higher than we've been able to test at this point. So I can't get a scale that'll measure the break test. But 30 and 30, we've estimated breaks out anywhere from 35 to 40 pounds. So it's well above the line strength. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you, for instance, that you can connect any size braid, no matter how small, to any size leader. So for instance, I use a 30-pound samurai braid when I'm tarpon fishing, spin fishing, whatever. For multiple reasons. I'm not trying to sell a product, it's just the best braid I've ever used, and that's what I like. The downfall is you know, we'll see here the 30-pound is about the size of what people would consider a 10-pound Power Pro. So the thing is, it's very smooth and silky. The problem with that has always been connecting it to a bigger line. So here I just have some UPro fluorocarbon, whatever, Seagar is usually my preferred, but UPro is actually not that bad. I was pretty impressed. Of course, you know, that's just the way some people prefer certain things. I'll get into the fluorocarbon in a whole nother time if you have any questions. But basically what I'm going to do is take my leader line here. Hopefully you can get a good visual on it. I'll try to put something in the backdrop. There we go, give you a little bit more visual. Now what I'm going to do is basically take my leader to the point of where it's going to curl up like so in my left hand. So now what I'm going to do is then drape my braid across the leader going away from me on the far side. So now I have my tag end over here, my main line at me. If you look straight down the leader, you can see you have a natural parabolic of the line moving here. What you're going to be doing is wrapping the tag and the main line in a series of wraps going up the leader to the end of the tippet. This is my main going to the rod. We're going to set that off over there. So what I'm going to do is start off with is grab my tag end and wrap under, at me, over, away. One wrap. Keep it kind of tight and close to your fingers if you can. Then I'm going to take my main line and reverse wrap under, away, over, at me. And now I'm going to repeat that process for a total of 6 times for each of the 2 lines here. So that was 1 and 1. So now we have 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So what happens then is you get this big clustery mess of a knot. Basically what you're going to do is bite down on the end of the leader while grabbing both of the main lines here and sliding them back and forth to where they kind of tighten up. See how that's kind of tightening up? I'm not going to bite it because I got a face for radio. So we'll say that's at the mark where it's at right now, nice and tight. You can see how that gets kind of snug if my crappy camera can kind of show you. Anyway, so I did 6 wraps, and what I did is I started obviously with my tag end and ended with my main line. So now I'm going to put another series of 6 wraps, making sure nothing's tangled up, everything's straightened out, starting with my tag end once again and doing 6 more wraps. So there's 2 and 2, 3 and 3, 4, oops, even I'm messed up, 4, 5, 5, 6, and 6, and voila. Now, this is when I'm connecting, you know, 30 to 30, you know, if I start going up to the 130-pound class or more with a smaller braid, I tend to go up with another series of 6. But I'm going to stop with this series here of the first 6 I tied, which are pinched in my finger, and the second 6, which are actually wrapped up here. So now I'm going to start kind of snugging these down slowly and surely. Normally I'll bite down the end of this to hold it in place to get a good grip, but let's see if I can do it. Yes, lovely. So as I bring it back and forth, you see how it kind of jams down on itself? And once it does, I'll pinch it, and voila. Now that I got it, the whole knot pinched in my hand, if you can kind of see it there, it's not real clear on my little Kodak camera. I broke my other one. What I'm going to do now is take my main line and lay it across the tag end to where it just kind of drapes across the tag end of my leader. Then take the tag end of my braid and do a half hitch over both lines and back underneath, where usually you have to involve a teeth or a third hand. So I'm going to bite onto this piece to snug it down. And as you see, as I'm snugging it down, I'm going to jam that back into the knot. Now I can release the knot because the knot's locked. But what I'm going to do as a secondary measure is take a second half hitch, but you always want to reverse your half hitches in braid. So I'm going to come underneath this time and do another half hitch, and on this one I can just use my fingers, pull it up nice and taut, bring that back to the knot, securing it in place. Now, what I'm done tying. What makes this knot so unique is what I'm going to do is basically put the death grip on the knot and wrap it around my fingers. And if you know me, I got giant big baloney fingers. And at the same time, I'll kind of pull back on my tag end. So now what I'm going to do is actually literally just pull both my main lines, and what ends up happening is it works almost in sequence to like a Chinese finger cuff. So the braided line has now, through the series of crisscrosses, dug in to the leader line. So it's great with mono, great with fluorocarbon, great with any kind of braided application. I now go to cut my tag ends. I'm going to cut my braided tag first. You know, get as close as you can. I'm going to keep it big just for, because I don't care, I'm not fishing this knot really. Time to get a new pair of runner scissors. These are like 8 years old. And then I'm going to come across and obviously cut my fluorocarbon leader tag end. So, boom, take a pair of scissors, get as close as you can, voila. Now you have literally the smallest possible knot, not counting my sweet giant tag there. We won't make fun of that. I had to do this all by myself. I'm not good at that. I need a cameraman. So if I could even bring it closer, you can see that it's really small, and the strength is just far superior. You can reel it through any guide, a micro guide, which I've considered to kind of taken a liking to. I just don't use micros. I use recoils or sick titaniums on my rods only, by Fuji or REC. So, but now you can connect even the smallest braid to the biggest of leaders with ease. So now you won't have any issues, won't have any muss, won't have any fuss. You actually have flexibility in the knot, so the knot can bend. Literally on my bait casters, I could reel this into my reel and cast it out of my level wind as it goes back and forth and not feel it. The one thing I do like to do is take a little bit of super glue. You can. I use a stuff called UV knot sense, where I'll coat the whole knot and it's UV activated. But you just take a little bit of super glue and just drop a drop right there on where the half hitches are, and just smear it right off immediately and pull your tag end back on that braid so it keeps it smooth. And like I said, that is what I consider the GT knot, because that's the originator. There's a lot of other versions of doing it. I just find that to be the easiest way. This is my first taping of this knot, so please tell me if you have any questions, any kind of problems. I'm also going to be posting videos of rods that I have for sale. Due to the fact, not to give you a boo-hoo, I'm going through some medical stuff right now, and I'm going to need to get some surgeries. I got some co-pays, so I'm going to be doing some really disgusting deals out there. And just, So, and almost knocked the camera over. So just remember, don't fart when people are recording, and enjoy the GT knot. Test it out, try it out. It's worth the work. Once you get it down, I could tie it in 20 to 30 seconds on the front of a boat, rocking in the wind, and it's literally like any knot, just learning the finger placement and the technique. So voila, there is your GT knot. And not the greatest version ever, but feel free to swing into Bill Jackson's. I'm there Wednesday from 1 o'clock till 9 o'clock, Thursday from 10 a.m. till 9 p.m., Friday 10 a.m. till 9 p.m., and Saturday 9:30 a.m. till 6 p.m. We'll show you anything you need to know, and definitely get you into some of the samurai braid. That stuff is just unbelievable. So, other than that, I'm going to be putting up a few more videos if I can tonight of some rods I have for sale, so feel free to give me a call or make a donation. I'll put my phone number in the video. give me a call, and hey, give a GT knot a try. If you have any problems, let me know. Good luck.